Go Jackets.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to WreckTalk. So, let's talk about the spring game. Big news, I do know what I'm going to be doing for the spring game. So, one, I'll definitely be there. Two, Sea Dog and I are going to do a tailgate, maybe even a live show on the bridge, the overpass around Tech Square. That it's like an overpass of 80, 85, 75 merge. That's Fifth Street, right by the bookstore. So we'll have a tent set up there. I'm gonna have merchandise. Sea Dog's gonna have stuff. I'm gonna be giving stuff away. If you want to come see us, that's where we'll be, April 15th. I'm sure we'll set up several hours before the game, which I think is at 1:15 on the 15th. So that'll be fun. So come see us. And with that being said, I want to talk about, what should we really expect in the spring game? What should we be looking for? One thing, obviously, everyone's going to be looking at is the quarterbacks. It appears that both Haynes King and Zach Pyron are going to play. So one thing in particular that I'm going to be watching out for, and we talked about it on the last live show, we need to be paying attention to Haynes, his throwing motion. So on the live show, I looked at film from him in high school to college, and his motion got I didn't really have a problem with his motion in high school. It seems like, I guess, Jimbo has coached him to bring it way up and have this hitch in it. So let's see if there's any improvement in his throwing motion. Does it look any more natural? Is it fluid? Is his release quick? So be watching out for that. Also, just what does the chemistry look like between the quarterbacks and receivers? And as far as Zach Pyron, who does seem to be a little more mechanically sound, he did have, I believe, his left collarbone, clavicle broken. So I would look out in his motion too. So as a nice throwing motion is you want to pull your left arm kind of back in your armpit like that as you're following through. I'm going to be looking at, does he kind of short his left arm as he's pulling it through to get more velocity on his throwing arm? How fluid does that look? Does it look like this clavicle injury is hindering that at all? I don't think that it will, but that's one thing we'll be looking at. So obviously we'll be looking at the quarterbacks. Probably as important, or really more important, is the offensive line. What does our offensive line look like? Does it look like there's chemistry there? Are they playing well as a unit? We're having to replace Pierce Quick, who left kind of under odd. I guess he's done with football. He went back to Alabama to finish his degree. Viapulu, who did play, transferred out. We're losing William Lay. So we're losing a lot of pieces on the offensive line. We really need Jordan Williams and Weston Franklin to step up and really be an anchor on that offensive line. So I'm just gonna be looking at, does it look like we're making the right reads on offensive line? Are we picking up the right things? I would expect us as a defensive unit at times to throw some stunts, some more exotic blitz packages to gauge kind of the development of that crew. So pivotally important, how does the offensive line play? On the running back side, Dante Smith coming back I think is huge. Dante Smith I think is a little bit underrated just because we haven't had a lot of success in the past. Dante Smith is a very fast running back. He has a lot of quickness, and I think he has very good ball carrier vision. If there's a little bit of a hole there, he's going to find it. Travion Cooley, who's a transfer from Louisville, he was a 4-star recruit in high school. I'm sure he'll get a good number of snaps, and really, maybe even more so than the quarterbacks, I'm going to be excited to see the play of Antonio Martin and Jamie Felix. These were two highly recruited 4-star running backs that we were able to sign, I think 2 years ago. Collins was able to sign them. We haven't really seen much of them but I do think they're very talented running backs. So it'd be interesting to see, how they play, what we do with them. On the wide receiver side, if you've watched the channel for any length of time, I'm extremely high on Leo Blackburn. So Leo Blackburn and specifically Malik Rutherford, I think those two receivers are going to need to take a big step up. I'll be interested to see what their chemistry is like with the quarterbacks, and can they step up in a big way and kind of be an anchor on the offensive passing game. Aside from them, newcomers, Christian Leary. This is the kid with world-class speed. Be interesting. It's really going to be interesting to see the play of him in conjunction with Blackburn and Rutherford. When you have a guy that can stretch you vertically, it can open up things underneath in the passing game for you, because you just have to respect this guy's speed. You cannot let a guy like Christian Leary get behind you. And then we'll get to see, well, how the best position group we probably have right now is in the defensive backfield. And honestly, it seems like the better position group on offense is the wide receiver. So it'll be fun to see kind of the battle between those two groups. Also, Chase Lane, who came from Texas A&M with Haynes King. Obviously, they're going to have some already developed chemistry. It'll be nice to see that play. And then I'm excited to see Abdul Janae. This is a kid out of Duquesne that's like 6'3", big kid. All of a sudden we got some depth at wide receiver, really wide receiver and running back. So those were kids that I would watch out for there. And then kind of the redheaded stepchild of the Tech offense, tight end. Now, the two kids with the most experience on the team, Dylan Leonard and Luke Benson, I'm sure they'll get a good number of snaps. But I really want to see Brett Seether. So this is the kid that transferred from Georgia. Between these three guys, can we see something out of the tight end? And I don't even care if they get a single catch. Can we just get one thing right? Can we block with the tight end, or can we run decent routes and not drop wide open passes against good teams? So I don't know. I guess let me back up. I'm a little frazzled at the moment, but holistically as an offense, we're going to get to see at least the beginnings of the offensive identity of Buster Faulkner. So I have no idea what he's going to want to run. I kind of feel like we're going to see more of a spread attack, just because it seems like we have a good bit of speed on the offense now. Both in running backs and wide receiver. I would expect to see a lot of things out of the gun, and a lot of quick, slant routes, flat routes, drags, maybe not as much downfield stuff in conjunction with the run. But your guess is as good as mine on that. Now, obviously last year our defense was the cornerstone of the team. Now we're having to replace, three absolutely pivotal key players on the defense in Thomas, Ely, and White. Keon White might be a first rounder, and I think Charlie Thomas might be a sleeper pick in the draft. I just think he's a sneaky good linebacker with extreme athleticism, and just the guy always finds the ball. So we have to replace those three defensive pieces. So can at linebacker, this is the biggest question mark probably on the defense. Can Andre White step up and be that kind of player? I think he has the potential to be. We'll see in the spring game. He has 1 year of eligibility left. Braylon Oliver from Minnesota, he has 2 years of eligibility left. But, between those two, can we get somewhere close to the play we got out of Ely and Thomas? We're going to get an idea in the spring game. Definitely watch those two. And then we have like a kid, Austin Dean, that I mean, there's just not much to say about the kid. He's transferring in from Houston, I believe. And then two kids that I don't think have got a ton of playing time, but have been rotated in: Trinelius Tatum, Lucas Buffkin. I imagine they'll get some playing time. So yeah, big question mark at linebacker. Defensive line, you've got to replace Keon White. Now we do have Edenoza Rubin coming in from Clemson. That's a kid to watch. A returning kid, the kid from Belgium, I would look out for. Sylvian. I don't really know how to pronounce his last name. Yodenjun or Yonjun was quite productive for us. Two newcomers that I'm going to be excited to see play: Malcolm Pugh in this latest recruiting class, and Horace Lockett. Two big kids. Horace Lockett from Westlake, big 6'6" kid. I think he redshirted last year. He wasn't. He's not brand new. Like to see him step up. But yeah, I mean, what is this defensive line going to look like without Keon White? It'll be interesting to see. Now, defensive back, we've already said probably the most experienced, deep group we have, with like Brooks and Lee and Sims, Miles Sims, LaMiles Brooks. Those are hard names to say back to back. And Clayton Powell-Lee, who, if you watch the channel, I did an interview with. I think Clayton Powell-Lee is an electrifying player and is really exciting to watch. So, also Jalen King, another kid with experience in the backfield. It's going to be fun to see the speed at wide receiver we have going against our best position group. So, like I said, I'll be there. Sea-Dog and I'll be there. Come see us. We're going to be giving stuff away. And I can't wait, guys. I'm looking forward to the spring game. This is probably one of the most anticipated spring games that we've had at Tech. Thank God we're doing it at a sensible time on a Saturday. So I imagine the place, there's going to be a lot of people there. So I look forward to seeing you guys there.